Hi, today is February 19th, 2023, and here are my poems for the day. The first one is poem number 294 for the year, Pas de raison d'être. The day before yesterday, I was out biking, and I thought I saw a rather large amount of dog shit on the bike path near where the Javits Center is. And I was like, what kind of a psychopath would walk a dog along a bike path and then not clean that shit up? And then I realized it was a lump of cardboard that had been rained on earlier in the day. Soaked, disgusting, and so sad looking. I almost got off of the bike to take a picture of it, but I was carrying about 18 pounds of books and shit in my backpack. So I was like, fuck it. Up until I got to 77th and West End, see poem number 288, I was thinking I would write a poem called Cardboard in the Rain. The poem might have gone something like this, and yeah, I did write chords to it. Soaked and sad and soggy, liquidy and brown, like a lump of dog shit smushed into the ground. To gaze upon you so saddens me and fills my heart with pain. That's why I sing this song to you, oh, cardboard in the rain. Cardboard in the rain. But I would have wanted a photograph to go with that poem, and I didn't have a picture of that cardboard. Then later I was out walking, and I saw some other cardboard in the rain. It didn't look like the first cardboard I saw. It, too, was soaked, but not nearly as disgusting as the cardboard in the rain from earlier in the day. You could still tell that it had been a cardboard box, but it didn't look like dog shit at all. But I stopped and took a picture anyway, and just now I came up with a haiku about it. Cardboard in the rain that doesn't look like dog shit. What's the point of you? Poem number 295, A Cycle. The explanation of a mystery decimates or eliminates the mystery, which then dissipates like smoke and disappears into the ether, from which new mysteries emerge. Poem number 296, Another Cycle. Disappointment and bitterness turn the young old and the old older. Acceptance and reconciliation turn the old young and the young younger. Poem number 297, Brakhage. Stan Brakhage was a filmmaker who loved poetry. I am a poet who loves film. I love Brakhage's films, but I don't imagine Brakhage would have loved my poetry. Certainly he couldn't possibly have loved my poetry 1/100th as much as I love his films, and that is perfectly fine. I prefer that imbalance. I prefer to idolize the work of Brakhage than to imagine that he could ever see me as an equal. Poem number 298. Balance is not necessary. I wonder, is there anyone whose work I love as much, and not more and not less, as they love mine? Perhaps Jane LaCroix. Balance is not necessary, and it's not always desirable. I enjoy being a fanboy, and it can be hard to be a fanboy of someone who is too much of a fan of yours. Sometimes I question the judgment of people who really love what I do, but if I understand their reasons, I can try to accept it with grace, rather than reflexively deflecting it with ego-driven false humility. I don't always succeed at this, but I try. Poem number 299. How I Know. Brakhage said a work of art is made for the most personal reasons, as an expression of love. This is how I know that some of my poems are works of art, and also how I know that many of them aren't. Poem number 300, Carter. At first on my phone I only saw a part of the headline, Former Jimmy Carter has, and I was like, oh no. And I was braced and tried to prepare myself for what I thought I was about to read. I clicked on the link, and the headline said, Former President Jimmy Carter has opted for hospice care, or something like that. And I felt fooled and not relieved and still braced, and I am sad. and full of memories, and I remember being so concerned that he was going to go during the last administration and get pissed on by the president. I don't expect that that's going to happen, but I imagine Biden fears comparisons with a president who only served one term. Biden is a better president than Carter was, but I don't believe there will ever be an ex-president as great as Carter. I'm inclined to say a whole lot more because when the day comes, and it could be today, I will be so filled with grief I may not know what to say. I guess I'll see what happens and when. I guess we'll see. Poem number 301, Voluntary Vultures. I imagine there are many thousands of volunteer editors who race like vultures to the Wikipedia pages of the immediately deceased to be the one who got to change is to was. Poem number 302, this is the last one for today. I think there are 9. It's my count anyway. The Dante Quartet. This morning I took 6 minutes and 6 seconds to sink into The Dante Quartet by Brakhage. I first saw it at Millennium Film Workshop on East 4th Street more than 30 years ago. It was more magnificent projected on a screen than it was on my laptop this morning. And I'm sure it would be even more magnificent on an IMAX screen, which was Brakhage's original intention. When I first saw it, I thought it was one of the most beautiful things I had ever seen, and I still do. Your miles may vary, of course. They probably will. Beauty, eye, beholder, as they say. But I, for one, was grateful to experience it this morning. And I am grateful to all of you for giving me the sense of a raison d'etre, unlike that cardboard box. Thank you very much for being here.